Right, welcome to Dan Talks United. For those that are watching, obviously you can see the scoreline. Fucking shocking. It's not a fucking joke. It's not April Fools because we're waiting to April. 2-1. Leeds United, our rivals. They're not really our rivals now. Rivals years ago, but Jesus Christ. But before I go into a crazy rant, I've got two guests here that I've been going live with for quite some time now. We've got Alex here from the Football Brotherhood. We've got David Speaks Football. And we're just going to get into this. I mean, I don't even know what to fucking say, guys. But like I say, 2-1. When we get that goal back through Casemiro, we probably think that we're going to get back into the game. Didn't deserve it. Went down to 10 men. But we're just going to go through things now. First half, we'll have a chat about that. We'll have a chat about the goals and how they came about. We'll talk about how Leeds United, dressed in white, playing like Real Madrid in regards to us. Martinez in red. Bruno playing that quarterback role in the second half. And then what the fuck next is what we'll finish off with. But like I say, it's late. We'll get through things pretty quickly. Appreciate you guys for coming on. And I'll start with you, Alex, because I know you're burning and desperate to get into things. Let's talk about the first half, Alex. What have you seen in that first half? Come on, talk us through it.
I obviously spoke to you both throughout the game over WhatsApp, and I don't say this lightly that was one of the worst halves of football post-Fergie. And that is saying something, considering the opponent, considering how bad we've been post-Fergie as well. We've had some poor seasons. We just come 15th. And I can't think of an Amorim half worse than that. I'm sure we can touch on Carrick in a minute, Dan. But some of those players, I don't care what system you're in, you need to be able to pass the ball 10 yards. Mazraoui, Ugarte, Casemiro, Yoro, pass the football 10 yards. I went to my son's football tonight. We played 5 till 6. They were doing passing drills between them. They are 5 years old.
Keeping the ball, weren't they? Yeah.
I can't actually believe how bad them four are. And by the way, the rest of them were not good either. Like Ahmad and Cunha, absolute stinkers as well. Like, what are you? Shaw, we were just chatting then when we off camera, Dave, about Shaw's physical. How is Luke Shaw a starting left back for Man United? Honestly, what is? And Sesko, look, we could touch on all of them. For me, I don't even really. Then
they're all fucking bad.
That midfield, I don't know where Casemiro you got. I know people are going to be smoking mirrors header. He gets it. I nearly got another one as well. Casemiro on this midfield and Ugarte. That's one of the worst starting midfielders in the league, in my opinion. I honestly, Dan, I'm livid with tonight.
I just can't even find the words. I'm just boiling because
it's on a Monday.
Absolutely shocking. Yeah, I need something stronger than fizzy pop. It's just, I mean, I've got no words to explain that. And like you've just said there, Alex, this has got to be the worst. I mean, I think it's the worst I've seen Manchester United play. I can't think of a word. I mean, I know there was some bad times under Ole. There was probably some bad times under Moyes. And I've slated Amorim, but I don't think we played as bad as that under Amorim either. That was just absolutely shocking. And I mean, we'll get into Carrick, but my God, how is he not changed anything? I was expecting a substitution at half-time, at least one, and there were nothing. It's like he was, I mean, I won't get into Carrick. I'm getting carried away. Over to yourself, David. What's your sort of analysis on that first half and what you saw? Again, we've all been texting each other. What's your thoughts on that before we get into everything else?
It's just fucking awful, isn't it? Too many passenger princesses, mate. I told you earlier today. I mean, how we've lost to a team that basically played Amorim's system today and played us off the park, right? It's just like, oh my God, it's like a slap in the face. Yoro, I'm gonna pinpoint him, you know.
Don't know if it's just me, David, but it looks like you're melting like our team. Picture-wise, maybe it's just me. But it looks like you're melting like our team did today.
Is it going blurry? Is it? Is it gone blurry? Am I back?
It was a little bit. You're there anyway. We can hear. That's the main thing.
We can hear you, mate.
Let me get off my Wi-Fi. Anyway, the point I was trying to make, mate, is we're fucking.
I think Dave is trying to say that we're fucking awful. Sentiments.
I mean,
Yeah, and we'll keep going as
tell
he
me.
comes back in.
Dan, while
Am
we're
I
waiting,
there?
you tell us. Oh, you're back.
Oh,
there,
you're back. Well, I'll let
Sorry,
you carry
Dan.
on.
Dan
Sorry, I'll
says
let you get in your flow.
Internet's not great. Hopefully I'm back now. I've come off the Wi-Fi. Anyway,
You're back.
too many players, as I said earlier today, that we need to cash in on. They're never going to be good enough. Euro's never going to be good enough. Ahmad's never going to be good enough. And I think I finally got to the point where Lissandro Martinez, it's done. We need to move on from him as well. Maybe a harsh red card, but what are you doing pulling the geezer's ponytail? You know, what are you actually doing? You know what I mean? And like you put it up there, Dan. It wasn't aggressive per se. It wasn't a proper tug. I mean, I've seen Fellaini do worse, to be honest. But what are you doing? What are you doing?
Did Michael Keane get a red weeks ago for the exact
You
same
mentioned
thing?
that, but I didn't see it. I didn't know.
I don't know who the opponent was. I look, someone might be able to fact check
It's
in the
just
comments.
it being announced in the stadium. It's just keeping a straight face, saying, "Yeah, violent conduct." He's pulled his hair.
Is it one of them?
Jesus Christ!
I got a speeding ticket in Wales, 20 mile an hour. I disagree with it, but that's the rule. It's black and white. I cannot pull over 20.
I mean,
it's black and white. If you pull someone's hair, violent conduct, straight red. That's 3 games, by the way. We're down to fucking.
He's defo pulled his hair. You can see there's an intention to pull his hair. Do you know what I mean? He defo has. So it's a silly mistake again. And we said this earlier on stream, Dan, and I was saying it to Alex off camera. There's only a few players we can cash in on here that we could get a bit of money back from. And that's Ahmad. That's Euro. That's Dallo, who came on, by the way, done a few step overs, thought he saw the lights, had a shot, kicked it over. It's just, you know, how Luke Shaw is still trotting around for us, as you mentioned, Alex. It's sad times. Sesko, not good enough.
Sesko, rotten tonight. Sesko.
He had basically a one-on-one. Let's be honest, and he bottled it. He almost ran backwards. He almost gave the defenders, please catch up to me. I'm not sure what to do here. You know, what's happened to that incisive one-touch? If it ain't a one-touch chance with this fella, he fucking shits the bed. That is it. Yeah. If it's not a one-touch chance, a header, a one-touch shot, he shits the bed. He don't know what to do. He shits himself. Listen, before I go off any further, for me, there's big decisions that need to be made. Is Carrick the next manager or not? And are we ready to cash in on a few players and move on from a few players and support him in the transfer window? Because I said this to Dan earlier, Alex, most companies, most businesses improve from a strong position, right? And us getting Champions League is a strong position, let's be honest, compared to where we were. We need to kick on from here. Otherwise, we could easily go through the same cycle we've been through and go back down. We need to kick on. We need to make the right decision on the next manager and the right decision on certain players. But anyway, Dan, you crack on.
Yeah, I'm just going to get on to the actual, try and have a bit of structure here to this. But again, anybody that's watching, I can imagine. Gonna have to put this on the screen. I knew this guy was going to come out of nowhere. SBO. I mean, I'm not sure what you're meaning by the emojis, but this guy went missing. Manchester City fan. Obviously, we've lost, so he's turned up. And yeah, do we remember this? You're going to have to explain that a bit more, SBO, but nice to see you again. Then I'll just go through a few more chats before we get on to the goals. So as SJG saying here, jinxed it because he was on David's show earlier. And
I said 4-0. I went 4-0, yeah.
And yes, sentiments agreed. What the fuck was that? Exactly. What the fuck was that? And Christian here, fair play to Cass for his heading, but that was Cass past completion tonight. I mean, you're right there, Christian. Casemiro's been getting away with it in the sense, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Casemiro, but he's been getting away with it this season in the sense of he's been a danger in the opposition box. He's scored some goals. He's probably scored the most goals he's ever scored in his career, probably in one season. But as I said earlier, he's not doing what he was brought in to do at the moment, playing that number 6 role, being a conductor of the ball and just controlling our midfield. Today, I mean, not just the first half, because it turned into a basketball game in the second half. I mean, in my show last, I talked about my interest in basketball, but I don't want to mix it with Manchester United, though. But to see that midfield, and again, it isn't because Maino didn't play, and it isn't because Mbeumo didn't start. That midfield and that setup was shocking. One thing that I could have said about Carrick is that we've looked better defensively, generally speaking. We've probably faced less shots than we did under Amorim. But today, they were just running through us. Absolutely just running through us like we're not there. It was absolutely
played us off
shocking.
the park,
Thanks for your
they?
comments there, Christian. Yeah, definitely.
As
I was saying earlier, they look like Real Madrid.
Yeah,
that compactness. I mean, personnel shouldn't stop that compactness. It shouldn't do.
I mean, okay, Mainu, yes, keeps it simple, keeps it basic.
Yeah,
but he's not a defensive player, is he? You bring in a Ugarte, he's a defensive player, and we look way more wide open. I can't get my head around
I don't want to sound like Roy. I don't want to sound like Roy Keane here, mate. But it was just desire in that first half. It was just actual wanting to get the ball back. And I remember I said it to you guys a while back that fitness might be something we lose under this regime because they're just focusing on the football. Amorim left them a pretty fit team, and it kind of gelled together, almost like Slot taking over from Klopp, But blimey, has our fitness fallen off, We're second to everything, walking around. Oh man, I don't know,
And this is what I was saying earlier, that was my fear. I didn't think we were going to lose, obviously, and I did think we were going to win narrowly, but I did think that there was going to be a little bit of a rust. And I said earlier on your stream, David, that some of the other teams over the weekend, you could sort of see that they haven't played for a while. The problem is that we didn't get to play in the FA Cup because we're not in it. We haven't played in Europe because we're not in it. So we've played against Leeds, who've played more recent than we have, and it showed. It showed. I mean, I'm not saying they were brilliant or anything. They looked brilliant. We made them look brilliant. I wasn't expecting that today, but there was straight at us from the first whistle. And I just saw that and I thought, if we don't defend well here, this could be really bad. And it could have ended 3 or 4-0 in the first half. Yeah. It was just shocking. But going up to the goals, what are you thinking about the goals in terms of who's to blame? I'll go over to you, Alex, in terms of the goals. I mean, obviously, goals are always avoidable, but what was your take on Okafor scoring 2 goals against us?
I think if you want to keep it semi-structured here, so not just going, he's shit. I think Yoro had a really tough night tonight, and I don't want to just slag him off like I might do over WhatsApp to you both. I thought Yoro really showed where he's struggling and where he might continue to struggle for the rest of his career in the Prem. Calvert-Lewin is a very basic centre forward. He's good at 2 things: being physical and in the box, movement-wise. And Yoro could not deal with him in either category. The first goal, Yoro. My friend texted me saying, was that a foul? It's just powder puff defending. I think of centre-backs in this league, and they take care of business on that aerial ball. He just gets bullied. And then it's a decent first time finish at the back post. Second goal, Casemiro and Martinez make it. You mentioned there about the duels, the slowness, the fitness, the pissing around on the edge of the box. Casemiro on his heels. Straight comes out. Yoro, again, turning his back on a straight shot, deflected into the corner. Pathetic goals, but the joke is we should have conceded more than them 2. The chances they missed. Martinez saved one on the line. That's 3-0.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it
should have been 3-0.
I think they really struggled tonight. I think the midfield struggled physically. Casemiro's legs have gone. We know that. I think Yoro struggled in his duels, and even off some of those corners, Yoro's struggling to grapple. He struggles to get He can't defend one-on-one. And it's damning to say that about a centre-back of Manchester United. But Yoro can't duel. He cannot duel players. And I don't think it's going to get better. Yeah,
he's a gangly guy, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like he's
think about Yoro, and I don't want to. It's not all him. You can't locate one player.
No, I think it's a collective defensive issues today. Don't get me wrong. Yoro was a standout because he's gone up for the headers and not quite headed it out clear enough. But I was saying to you earlier, Alex, by text, that I just felt the defense was static anyway. They were disjointed, as you've probably already said. The setup of it all, it just looked off. Everything just looked off. There was nothing working, nothing clicking.
It
So
says
I
a
just,
lot that we
yeah,
missed Maguire that much.
yeah, and
A lot of us were like, should we have even kept Maguire? We missed it.
That's it. But it's
tonight.
sad to say that probably, yeah, I'm
more
not so
about
sure that they
down
score any
that.
of those 2 goals if Maguire's there.
Because he's aggressive and he's giving the. I think that's the thing, isn't it? With Maguire is that it's more of a reflection on the guys that played. It's a reflection that I was thinking bring Dallow on how bad Mazraoui was, and it's a reflection on those guys because Maguire and Dallow ain't the answer. But they would have been better tonight, and that's the fucking problem with this team. Where you put, like you mentioned about putting them in the shop window, nobody touches these players now because you look at Mazraoui tonight. He's
you won't get much for him.
Right back. Who's going to what 10 mil? Who's going to buy him for 10 mil? What, West Ham? Me?
Yeah. Just to quickly say, SBO, I'm sorry, but it's not a Man City channel. Come in and you can roast us. You can say what you want, but there's a lot of stuff going on about Man City here. We get it. We get it that you're chasing Arsenal down. We get it that you might actually win the league. We get it, SBO. But nice to see you back, though. But yeah, going over to yourself then, David, then in regards to... Well, I know we've touched on it already, but what's your thoughts on that Martinez red card, hair pull? Do you think it's a red card? I suppose it's in the rules, but what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the rules are the rules. I was a bit shocked that he got a red card for it. I did message you guys and go, surely not. Like, surely not. Just the whole scenario and the time of the game, right? But when I see VAR pull it up, I thought they're not pulling this up for a yellow, are they? You know, they're showing it now. They're showing it now on Sky Sports, and he makes a meal of it, Calvert-Lewin, and rightly so. It looks like he pulls his hairband out straight away after. So Martinez doesn't pull his hairband out, but Calvert-Lewin makes sure. I'm watching it now.
Make a point.
He makes sure the hairbands come out to make the point that my hair's been tugged. But he doesn't tug it hard. But it's just silly from Martinez. And here's the truth, you know, I defend Martinez a lot. I like the way he plays on the ball. I like the way he passes out from the back.
Yeah.
But he's constantly trying to prove himself, isn't he? He's got small man syndrome. He does. And he's wrestling with players. He's elbowing players. You know, he's nothing. He's only short of biting players. Let's be honest here, because he tries his best to assert himself because he knows he's lacking in stature, in physicality, and it's always going to lead to either him lunging in and snapping his kneecap, or silly situations like this. So he's firmly gone for me in that category of cash in, move on. You know,
it's just, I like Martinez, but it's got to a point where I think I've had enough, and a lot of that's to do with his injury-prone side of things.
Sure.
When he starts playing and he gets back into it, and he looks really good, playing the ball between the lines and all that sort of stuff, and defending pretty well and dogged, it's all good. But then the moment we rely on him, he gets injured, and he's not any use to you. And I always say the best ability is availability, in a sense.
Yeah.
And if you don't have availability, what you see are you to us. And like you say, today, I mean, I was just thinking that he's had one of those sort of brain fart moments and thought, you've got long hair, I'm going to pull it. And he's just not thought about it. He's just thought, I'm going to pull your hair. And it's just so stupid at that point. I mean, there's an argument to say that we started playing better when we went down to 10 men. But, I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I mean, let's just go on to Bruno, actually, because that's just one highlight. I don't want to talk too much about it because we've lost. But Bruno gets another assist. What do you think of his game in the second half? He seemed to just play. Yeah, he should have done. He sort of played a bit deeper and just playing that sort of quarterback role. Let's touch on that and start to touch on Carrick as well. So I was shocked that Carrick, as I was saying earlier, didn't make a substitution. Let's touch on that first, actually. What are you thinking about that? Because I expected 2 changes at halftime. You haul Agati off, for example. You get Mbermo on, you get maybe Mount on, and try and do something different in that midfield by probably dropping Bruno back. I know we didn't like Bruno in that deeper midfield role, but Jesus Christ, Agati was just all over the place, and Casemiro needs legs around him with someone that can actually pass the ball forwards. So what we're thinking about Carrick's tactics today before we start to move on to whether we should keep Carrick. But what are you thinking of, well, should I say tactics? What are you thinking about Carrick's approach in this game today? I'll go on to you, Alex, and then on to you, David, on that one.
Look, I mean, not making a sub after that first 45 minutes is
Shocking.
stunning, to be honest. I was floored by that. I think I mentioned to both of you, he should have made a sub half an hour in. Whatever we think of Ruben Amorim. Do you remember the Newcastle game at home? We got blitzed and he hooked Xerxes. I know Xerxes was in tears, mate. This is a big boys' league. Have you got the bollocks to hook a player that's playing as badly as Ugarte was in that first half? And it wasn't just Ugarte, let's be fair. You know, like I said, those four in particular come past the ball 10 yards. But you had to do something, the momentum. In a way, that Martinez goal line challenge got hooked because that should have been 3-0. And that would have been, in my opinion, hands down the worst. For these are relegation fodder. You saw the celebrations at full time. They are fighting for their survival. They should have been 3-4-0 up at half time at OT. This isn't Klopp's Liverpool that did it to Ollie. This isn't Pep City. This is fucking relegation fodder. Now, Carrick, to me, I don't know what you guys think, but when the camera pans to him, I know it's easy when things are going badly, you look at someone in a different light. I looked at him when the camera panned to him and I was like, does he know what to do here? Like, did he have the answers? Because he just let it run, and then he let it run, and then we start the second half, he let it run. Do you know what's even more mental? Martinez got a red. He let it run even further. It was the maddest shit I've ever seen from a United coach. And I'm not saying it's all on him, but did he have any idea how to stop the bleeding in that first hour?
Yeah, I was saying earlier when the camera panned to him and you could just see his face and you just thought, he ain't got a fucking clue what he's going to do to change this, which is a massive shame because I like Carrick, but I've got to be honest. When the camera panned to him, I thought, you don't look like a Manchester United coach or manager and you've got no idea how you're going to change this. And you're just hoping that one of your backroom staff are going to help you out here. He just looked lost.
Where's Steve Holland?
Yeah. That's it.
Did you think that, Dave? Did you think his complexion looked worrying to you? Or is it just the scoreline?
I've just watched his interview now. His eyes look bloodshot. His eyes look bloodshot. I don't want to jump the gun here. But I'm surprised you didn't bring it up, Alex, when you were just talking there about the last time we've conceded that many shots on goal was when Liverpool thrashed us, right? Under Ollie.
Yes.
They brought that stat up,
That's correct.
The XG at half time was the same. The last time it was that high was again in that Liverpool game. Yeah. What was the final score in that?
Was it 5-0?
5-0, yeah. 4-0.
Yeah. I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? And you know, the fans, and that might be some of us here that have the PTSD about Ollie. And the PTSD that could this be Ollie 2.0? I tell you what, if that ain't a sign, from the above to say, listen, guys, that PTSD that you're feeling, it's real, it's legit, and don't go down this avenue again. And you know what, Dan? I'm starting to ring bells in my head. You spoke about Nagelsmann and managers like that. I'm starting to go back into. I know I need to be careful. I'm happy with what Carrick's done, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way.
I'm starting to drift back into we need a top manager here, And Carrick's not ruthless. He's not ruthless. He
clearly isn't because he didn't make a substitution at half time, so he's not ruthless.
Him bringing on Malacia that time against Newcastle showed he wasn't ruthless, Him not making a sub at half-time today shows he's not ruthless. He doesn't want to fall out with anyone, Xerxes could have easily come on. I know we're not Xerxes fans, but he could have easily come on, Mount, as you said, could have easily come on. As for Bruno playing that quarterback role that you mentioned, Leeds were done by then. Leeds were kind of like, you know what? I can't believe it. We could get 3 points here. Let's just pass it around. Let's just hold the ball. They had no intentions anymore of trying to get a goal. Le Mans made some good saves today, to be fair to him, but he
was shaky here and there, but he did make some good saves. I think some of passing out was a bit shaky at times as well.
Yeah, to drift to that was another one with to Euro, that pass to Euro, right? And but Euro did.
Well, it was identical to the Man City Chelsea game, wasn't it? Where
Euro did shape up for that.
Yeah,
Euro did shape up for that, though. And if you shape up for it, you're saying, "Go on." I know the goalkeeper has to make the decision, but sometimes when the goalkeeper's looking around, okay, you're shaping up for it. Let me trust my centre back.
Yeah.
Anyway, to finish for me, like Carrick for me is starting after today's performance. It doesn't take much, I think, to see that he's out of his league here, and how he's managed these results up until this point is, we said it's not a bounce, but fuck me, I think it was a bounce.
Yeah, it just started to tail off, hasn't it? We had that really good high when we've played against City, and we beat City, we beat Arsenal, we've done Fulham, and then it just started to just. I don't think we noticed it because we carried on winning. I've said this before. Sometimes when you do get wins on the board, it sort of masks things a little bit, or if someone scores. So very similar. It's very similar that our performances are almost like Casemiro's performances in a sense where. We're not playing well. Casemiro's not playing well, but he's scoring, so it masks the performance. So we're just like Carrick at the wheel, and I've done it myself, and I'll keep doing it for winning. But it's Carrick at the wheel. It all gets masked over because we're getting the wins on the board, and he's taken over, as we said already. And it was joint 6th or joint 5th or whatever it may be. We've got into 3rd spot. We've chased down Villa, and we've got Villa's spot. And it looks like that Champions League is nailed on. So you kind of ignore things. But if we want to really look at things deeply, you can start to see where we start to tail off. And we definitely don't do well when we've had a gap. And when we start playing on these silly days like Monday nights, it just doesn't work for us.
The thing is, Dan, we don't do well. We don't do well when we play back to back either. When we play weekend and midweek.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I suppose nothing's really making a difference. So. Really quickly then, and then obviously you're right what you're saying, David, there, where we've got to be. This is obviously talking on emotion. We've lost. We're pissed off. Obviously, we're going to say different things to what we've said before when we've won. But going up to yourself, Alex, what are you thinking about Carrick at the moment? Are we starting to go down the line of, we need to be really looking out there for a different coach, or are you saying that this is just a one-off and give him a chance? What are you thinking at the moment, Alex, on Carrick himself?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? And I think, like you said, I think you both touched on trying to stay as level-headed as possible, despite how bad that was. The problem Carrick's got is he has a 20-game interview, which he is now 70% of the way through, and he can't afford any. He hasn't got the CV to mask. Say like a Luis Enrique has a bad half at PSG. You can fall back on his CV. He's a winner, and he'll get it right. He'll get it right 9 times out of 10. The problem with Carrick's got is, you mentioned the last year against Newcastle. We lost to 10 at Newcastle. We couldn't pass 10 yards tonight for an hour, and he didn't make a change. These things, Carrick can't afford those things to happen.
No.
And that's where I'm struggling a little bit, because my gut says he had to knock 20 games out of the park. And I do think, to your point, he's done brilliantly considering, let's be fair. But this is the permanent job of Manchester United. And think about it this way. You guys know I've got a YouTube channel with my brother, right? He's a City fan, for anybody who doesn't know. Picture this in November, December. We're mediocre in the Champions League. We're 8th in the Prem, struggling with your back-to-back games, like you said, Dave. And Christian's going to go to me and he's going to go, you gave the job to the ex-Middlesbrough coach. I don't want to hear you whinging if you back it right now. And I know that's what he'll say. And he's got every right to say that, because if I come in and go, give him the job, and then in November it's crap, I can't then start moaning, because your City fans of the world, your Liverpool fans of the world go, what were you lot thinking giving the job to the championship coach? And that's my problem. He had to be perfect. He's not been perfect. It's harsh, but that's the reality of being a coach at this level. And my gut is shake hands, walk away, boys. I'm trying to not be reactive. But that's my gut. I'm sorry.
But I think it's times like this where, because it can't all be about, right, we've won, and then we had the songs Cunha and Boomer, Ahmad. We had all that. We had the joy. I get it, and I loved it. But I think this is a reality check. When things aren't going well, as you said there, I'm looking at my coach and saying, right, because I mean, again, there's so many coaches out there that will promise the earth. We've had Ten Hag, who played nice football over at Ajax and other teams. We've had Amorim doing the same. You hear Nagelsmann in his interviews and he talks about He's always scanning the game. He's always looking to see how he can change things. And that, I'm not saying go for Nagelsmann, but I'm saying that we want our coach to be thinking on those lines. Now, obviously, football's not a complicated sport per se, but there's a lot of tacticians in the game. There's a lot of good teams out there that can play football. And you want someone like, or a coach, I'm going to say like Nagelsmann then, but you want a coach, Nagelsmann speaking there, and he's talking about from the whistle blows, if things aren't quite right, he's thinking, how can I tweak things? How shall I move a midfielder to a certain position? Shall I change things in terms of substitution? I'm not afraid to react to what's going on and be on top of things. And I just think, again, going back to the camera panning to Carrick, he just looked rabbit in headlights. He was just like, I
Completely.
have no idea what the fuck I need to do here to change this. It's like, someone please help me. Someone please help me. I don't know how to change this game. But lastly, I know you sort of touched on it already, David, but are you thinking, let's move on? Or are you just sort of saying, let's see how things go before we start being reactionary? Because again, I know that we are pissed off and this is why we're saying these things. But lastly, from me, again, when there's adversity, you want to know that your coach for the biggest team in the world can change things and can react to fucking Leeds. It's Leeds United. We're not talking about reacting to. It's not like Liverpool losing to PSG. I know they look shit and PSG made them look horrible. This is Leeds United. Leeds United, who, if we win today, we're pushing them towards the relegation zone. That's the difference. Instead, we're giving them a cushion to be above Spurs. So, going a bit of rant there, but what are you thinking, just really quickly on Carrick now? Are you thinking, let's look elsewhere, or are we being a bit hasty there?
I kind of said it earlier, didn't I? But again, we're reacting on emotion, and it was a tough day at the office. You know, to the positive people, that's what we could say. It was a tough day at the office, and Martinez didn't help it with his ponytail pull. And yes, he could have reacted early, but he gave the players a chance. This is just me being, what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to see it from another point of view.
Yeah.
But I think Alex is spot on. He had a 20-game interview and he could not afford to have any stinkers.
Yeah, this is a stinker.
This was a stinker. This was a stinker.
And it wouldn't have been too bad if the red card created the loss, but we're already losing. And we already looked bad.
2-0 down. Yeah,
so you can't even blame that. But
just a question for you both. What do you think the halftime team talk when Dave? I suppose while you're on, what just put me, just try and be a fly in the room in that dressing room. So
I'll be honest. I think he's going to say we're better than this, lads. I reckon he's going to say we're better than this, lads. Right. What's going on? Yeah. I know we haven't played for a little while, but come on, lads, wake up. We're at Old Trafford. Let's wake up. That's what I think it was, to be honest. Right. Yeah. You know, can you see him?
Would you have shouted at him?
No, but can you see him going? You lot look fucking awful.
This is the thing.
Fucking awful. What the fuck have you been doing for 26 days?
Yeah.
For me,
on a jolly in Ireland.
You can hook 3 players at halftime. Easy.
Yeah.
And send a message to the team and to the crowd that I don't give a shit. Even if we lose this fucking game, we can afford to. But I'm going to send a message now. I'm hooking 3 players. Ugarte, you're awful. Sesko, not good enough. You had a chance. Anything that hit Sesko today bounced off him. I thought it was Lukaku back. Yeah, he was absolutely awful. He was awful today. And Ahmad, get him off straight away as well.
Yeah, you know, great either.
For me, to answer your question, I know it's been a long-winded one. I think again I'm emotional now, but I think I'm firmly back in the camp that we need an elite manager.
Would you give Nagelsmann a go?
I think I would. Yeah, I don't want to go down this avenue again.
No.
Look, the results and the performances in some of these games had me excited and had me thinking, you know what? If this fella finishes third, you got to give it to him. But this was scary watching today. Scary watching. And it looks like a look into the future. And I know it's a one-off game. Blimey, I'm just praying Luis Enrique wins the Champions League and just says, I've done my job here. I need a new challenge. I need a new challenge, because otherwise this will be the man that gets the job.
Well, so Jim was there tonight.
saw him.
What do you think he was thinking? Do you actually think he's thinking, maybe we need to go back to the drawing board? Or is he just thinking, it's just a bit of a blip? Because it's the thing is, for me, I know it's not just down to Sir Jim, but Barada, Wilcox, they need to really be thinking about this before they make that final decision. Because I fear that, as we've already said ourselves, and we've probably sort of said what they were thinking at the same time we were, is that he's come in, he's saved the day, he's given us Champions League football, which is the goal. You've got to give it to him. But I think after tonight, and I know it's just one game, but for me, there was enough being told tonight for me in regards to his reaction to us losing, his non-reaction at half-time, still going on. I don't credit Carrick with even getting that one goal back. I just think that was desperation, everybody going forward, and Casemiro doing his thing as normal.
Did you hear that stat?
Did you hear that any change of tactics.
Casemiro's last 7 goals have been from a Bruno assist, and they've all been headers.
Yeah.
So for me, that's not a manager. That's not a manager.
No,
that's two players. That's 2 players that have lunch now and again and have dinner together now and again.
Yeah.
And say, listen, cross it for me. I'll be
Bruno digging something out and trying to save the day. That's what that is. And I used to hear when people just say it's just vibes sort of football. And I know Saeed used to say it a lot under Ole, moments FC and vibes football. But I think sometimes I hated it. But to be honest, is he far wrong at times? And I think I did credit, again, going back, and I don't want to keep going back, I did credit Carrick in the early days in terms of, but I think probably the main thing he did is just putting players in their rightful positions and letting them work it out. And obviously, I've called for something simpler. I've said that sometimes these hipster managers come in and try to make things too difficult, and everybody's trying to be Pep, and there's only one Pep, really. Arteta's a pretender. There's all these other pretenders trying to be Pep, and it just doesn't work. And I think you just got to be your own person. And I did applaud going back to basics. But I think in a game like this, basics isn't enough. And one thing that I didn't like in the first half is that the tactic for us, I saw Leeds knocking it around. I'm not saying they were knocking it around like City or knocking it around like Prime Barca, but they were knocking it around and keeping the ball. And there was attacking intent
in a 3-4-3
from the off. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? And all we were doing was knocking it long and trying to get it in behind.
Yeah, Martinez in behind. On the end of Martinez in behind. And
it's like, you mentioned PSG. You mentioned Luis Enrique and stuff like that. And you think we've all got this desperation to qualify for the Champions League. What happens next season in November if we put PSG in the group stages? You play 8 teams at random, so you could easily get a PSG or a Bayern. I'd say you're going to get one of them. If PSG turn up at OT and are absolutely blitzing us, if Carrick sits on his hands like that, we could lose 7-0, 8-0. Well, now you mentioned the directors in the stands. Now I'm sure they're sat there going, "We need better players, right?" There's no doubt about it. These boys need to look in the mirror, but they're also watching Carrick not react to in football. You have to sometimes just do anything. You mentioned Xerxes. You just do anything to stop the bleeding, change the momentum in games. That halftime whistle.
Throw the sink at it, right, Alex? Throw the sink at it at the end. Brings Xerxes on. I don't know. Sesko
played 95 minutes today. Look, again, it feels harsh, but you've got to mention these individuals. Sesko was a £65 million striker. And tonight, the one-on-one you mentioned, the inability to work.
It's like, what are you doing here?
He looked lost. You mentioned rabbit in the headlights with Carrick. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to work.
Like I said, I felt like he waited for the defenders to catch up to him, Alex, and get me out of trouble here, make the chance a little more difficult for me. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's what it looked like. And I said this earlier on the stream, if it's not a one-touch shot, mate, he ain't scoring. Sorry.
I think you bang on. And look, I don't want to. It's such a collective shit show tonight, but you do have to look at some of these players. I mentioned those 4 in the first half. Ugarte, 50 mil. Yoro, 60 mil. Mazraoui, 15 mil. These are all players signed in the last 3 years. It's the ghost of the transfers past that are killing us. Casemiro's 65 million.
Yeah,
4 years.
it's always been the case for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, and then you've got your guys up front, and we're all sitting on the fence. Like, is he good enough? Is he good enough? Ahmad, you cannot be a cutting guy and not be able to shoot. You have to be able to shoot. You're a cutting and shoot person who can't shoot. It's fucking.
It's either well wide over the bar or just straight
too
in the keeper's
soft.
hands.
Too soft.
It's
Freaking
like
frustrating.
I get on. I said to you both before I was at under fives tonight. I got to my son about shooting, putting your foot through the ball, trying to get your laces under it and getting your foot through it. And I watch Ahmad. I want to have that conversation with him. Get some power behind it. I'm not having
Anthony,
mate.
Foot
three. Anthony, you said it.
It's Anthony.
Look, it's about technique. It's about working on your game, your craft. Can he not lace the ball better than this? But Manchester United.
Yeah. But the professional footballers pay. I mean, it's not about pay.
What's
But professional footballers. It's like, come on, seriously.
How many goals and assists has he got this year?
I'd not even looked at it.
It'll be a shocking stat, I'm sure.
Do you think?
He's so overrated, mate. So overrated.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
unbelievable,
God.
mate.
It's probably got about 2 GNA or something like that, if that.
He's got 2 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah,
Right.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Do you know who he
2
should be
yellows.
playing for? He should be back at Sunderland. That's his level.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a mid-table player at best.
That's his level.
Yeah,
And I said this
he's-
earlier to you, Dan, didn't I? I said this earlier to you on our show.
Yeah.
Alex, when I was on the football terrace, one of the I came out months ago saying Ahmad is Anthony 2.0. And one of the comebacks was, name me a right wing back that you can sign for Manchester United that's going to be better than him. And it was tough to answer that. Because there isn't many right wing backs because not many people play that system, right?
It's a unique
But
position in
guess what, Alex? We no longer play right wing backs. He's a winger for us now. Now,
Correct.
how many wingers could you name ahead of this fella right now?
Yeah. I mean, he's
Oh, this is the thing.
just a...
Bunch.
Probably
A whole
wingers in
bunch.
our own academy. I'd put Lacey there before him now.
Yeah.
JJ
exactly.
Gabriel when he's old enough.
He's
Yeah.
mid, isn't he? He's just a mid player.
Yeah.
And like you said, we've got to like be ruthless with this. I think of like Manchester City, and obviously my brother's a City fan. I look at how they move players on so well.
Yeah,
You know,
quickly.
they shift.
I mean,
You know,
the funny thing about it is,
Silva,
it's like
Aguero.
they've moved De Bruyne on, but would we have taken him? Yes, we would have done.
Yeah,
but
of
they were
course we
moving him on. There's a
But
lot of
even
their
like-
players that
even-
they move on, we'd take. That's the
Even
problem.
like your, I saw it the other day. I was watching, must have been Dortmund, I think, and I saw a Kanchi playing, and I was like, "What me? City just turfed him on. He was a start for the treble
Well,
team."
yeah, that
Oh,
surprised me when I saw him. I thought, what's he doing there? I didn't realise he'd gone.
And we would just cling to these.
And
Look,
He'd
and we
start
missed the
for us.
Bright tonight. He'd start for us. We'd flog a dead horse. How many years now?
Yeah.
Diallo was signed under Ollie, right? Diallo's been here since he was 2019.
Who are you talking about?
2019.
Dallo. You talking about
No,
Dallo or
Well,
Ahmad?
both, I think Ahmad and Dallo.
Mourinho.
Correct.
Mourinho.
Yeah, Mourinho.
Correct.
There's so
Went
many
on
we
loan,
need to move on.
Came back.
So many.
Yeah,
How
that's
many,
the problem
how
when
many
you've
years
got
for a
players without
testimonial?
length
Is
of
it 10
time.
years? 10 years for a testimonial.
we have
Dallo's-
so many
Dallo's
that
due in
haven't.
2 years.
Yeah. Look, Phil Jones should have had one, but he was too embarrassed to
Phil
have
Jones.
one.
I think
Dallo
Martial
should
was
have
here.
one.
Martial was 6
Luke
months after
Shaw,
testimonial.
Harry Maguire, you
Yeah.
name it. They just stay there for testimonials.
Well, Harry
but let's go
Maguire's
through
just got a new contract, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, we'll
Harry's
I
gonna
mean,
be-
to be fair,
Harry's-
we needed him today. So what can you say? But I'm just going to
Yeah,
touch on a
says
couple
more
of
about them, doesn't
chats.
it? But-
Got
yeah,
Christian
go for
there that agreed with you earlier about the ruthless streak. It's just non-existent there. Lovely chat here. Is that a Leeds United fan that searched us out? Dirty Manx. Lovely one.
Wow.
Lovely.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you very much. Yeah.
What else we got here from SJG? Sesko was a jerk. He pisses me off. Doesn't tackle. Doesn't run. Just stood fucking like a lamppost, waiting for the ball to come to his feet. And that's the thing. It was very frustrating today, as we've already said. That how many times the ball got played into feet, and again, you could say that he might want the ball over the top, but he's quick for his size. But he wasn't going to do anything ball over the top today. The ball goes into his feet. Professional footballer that can't control the ball. But one thing for me is that he goes over so easy and thinks he's going to get a foul. It's like,
Mate.
This is the Premier League, pal. It's the Premier League. You know, it's It's not even like the most aggressive tackle that's been happening. It's like you should know when the ball comes into you, use your 6 foot odd frame and hold the player off first. Make sure you've got control of the ball, and then pass it off. So it's like you're just not holding the ball up. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. But
and you know what?
Lamppost.
When you know your striker's going to lose the ball when you're chasing a game like that, it's very difficult for midfielders, wingers to think, do you know what? Let me play this forward and run off of Sesko. Because every time they gave the ball to him, he lost the ball.
Yeah, but
we were playing with 9 men.
The defender just knows how many times we've played football. I don't know if you've played up front or what have you, but the ball comes into you. You know that the defender's going to come back through the back of you. So you've got to anticipate that, especially in the Premier League and the English League. You should have been told this you've got Steve Holland there now. You've got Michael Carrick there now. The ball comes into you. You've got to know that there's going to be a defender right up your ass, and you've got to hold them off. I mean, not saying elbow them, just hold them off. It's like, come on, it's simple stuff, this. As Christian's saying there, if we get PSG, Carrick will turn into Mike Bassett at half-time team talk in Mexico. But yeah, it's I mean...
3 cheers for Ramirez.
I mean, I know we're going backwards and forwards here, and it's just what happens when you're in this state of mind. But going back to Carrick, I think, love the guy, legend. And I think sometimes you've got to save people from themselves. And it's like, you don't want... I mean, we're getting booed. I mean, I don't know if it was directed at him per se, but the team's getting booed off at halftime. This is not what Carrick needs. He don't need to be in this situation. And again, are you good enough?
Learn your craft.
I don't know.
I think that you look at Frank Lampard. How long ago was he laughing stock at Chelsea?
This is it.
Gone back
to his level.
Got Coventry promoted. His stock's high now, and he's probably going to get a Prem job, whatever happens at Coventry next season. And I look at Carrick and I think, yes, your companies of the world might go to Bayern from Burnley and do amazing. I can't get that image out of my head tonight that you two are referencing. The blank look when
I can't shift that from my mind. I just thought that was just almost like a signal to me to think, wake up, Dan, just wake up. You've got all high on this Carrick train, and when the shit hits the fan, and he had enough time to turn it around. And again, I know that we always think we know the best as fans, but the thing is, it's like even me as just a fan, I've got no coaching badges. I'm sat on the sofa thinking, you need to... I mean, probably from about 20 minutes in, or maybe even before that, I'm thinking, you need to change something now. No, a lot of coaches won't change that early. Nagelsmann would, though, by the way. But anyway, I know a lot of coaches wouldn't change that early, but I'm thinking you don't have to substitute, but just like shout some instructions on the pitch. Call your captain over and just tell him just to shift further up or come further back or whatever it may be, or ball in behind or ball around the corner. But nothing. It's just doing the hand on the, on the chin. What do I do? Steve, help me, Steve.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough for this level. And again, we're going into, and obviously we're going to go into this now. Obviously, it's a bit stupid question, but do you think Champions League is in jeopardy? Or is it overreacting? Do you think we could just do a bit of a nosedive now? We've got Chelsea next, and we'll come on to that before we finish. Do we think it's in a bit of jeopardy, Champions League? Or is that too reactionary? What are we thinking, David?
Well, I'll tell you what, before you go, David, let me just read you the numbers. Okay, so let's say glass half empty, which is what we like to do, especially after tonight. Chelsea beat us at the weekend, hypothetically. They will be, and say Liverpool and Villa pick up points in whatever they're doing this weekend, I'm not sure. Manchester United will be on 55 points. Chelsea will be in 6th on 51. You have a 4-point gap with 5 games to go. You've still got Liverpool to play. Yeah. If we do lose to Chelsea and Villa and Liverpool pick up points, we're going to be really almost in 5th, 4 points ahead of 6th. It doesn't look as great as it did do 3 hours ago when we could have gone... How many points would we have got?
It was 10 points clear of Chelsea, yeah.
So mathematically, if you lose at the weekend, you're down to 4 points from 6th. And so we've got Martinez out for 3 games. De Ligt has disappeared off planet Earth. Is Maguire out for another 2?
Is it two? Is 2 more games, Maguire? Is it? Yeah.
Harry's got another 2. So who's centre back at the weekend? Yoro and Heaven.
You're in heaven.
Bridge.
You're in heaven, or you're in Nagate.
And is Main who's injured? So I mean, I'm looking at Brentford lads in 7th.
What's tickled David there?
It's not. He stood like a lamppost.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna say that's the comment on Carrick. I think stood like a lamppost.
No, but I was listening to Alex say Delit's disappeared off planet Earth because he fucking has, hasn't he?
He was in that artist. He was in that artist too, wasn't he? I think he's fucked off, done a lap around the moon or something because he ain't playing footy.
Yeah, I think he went with the geezers that went to the moon.
Yeah,
in NASA Studios, that was probably fake.
Oh, Jesus. So, David.
Yes, 4 points. 4 points adrift if we fucking gap another one at the weekend.
Are we still getting Champions League, David?
If we're in that Europa League next season and I have to hear that shitty fucking music.
Fuck off.
Oh, no, man.
To answer your question.
So which one are we listening to, David, next season? Are we listening to the champions? Which one is it?
I mean, either one will be awful in both. Let's be honest. We'll be awful in both. Yeah, we'll be awful in both. We've not put a good account of ourselves in Europe for how long now? You know, it's
been a while. Ten was bounced in the groups in our last effort, wasn't
he? We've been an embarrassment to Champions League football for a long time. So anyway, but to answer your question, I didn't realize it was that close. And judging on today's performance, the players we've got out, this weekend's a big game. Who have we got this weekend?
Chelsea.
We've got Chelsea next, and we're going to come on to that now.
And that's at Stamford Bridge. That's at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah,
so
if they do win that game, they will be 4 points behind us.
Let me tell you something. If you look up the stats now, I can't do it because I'm on my phone. But when's the last time we won at Stamford Bridge? We have not got a good record there at Stamford Bridge.
I was thinking that. I think, did we draw there last time? I can't remember now, but we definitely won't do a City there, will we? I don't see us beating them 3-4-0. I know they're not being great. I know that Rossini is a nutcase, and there's this whole sort of respect the ball and doing huddles around the ref. But off tonight's showing, I just
we don't.
I just don't see. I mean, let's just quickly touch on that game. Then, what you thinking, Alex? We don't have to do particularly score predictions or anything, but what's your thoughts on that game?
It's 8 p.m. on a Saturday.
Have we got a chance?
Look,
does Garnacho score against us and get the winner? Can you imagine?
Imagine that. We get decimated by a 3-4-3 at OT and Garnacho scores the winner at the following game. Talk about go to pass. Look, if the defence... Look, we were riding the wave with Martinez and Maguire. We've definitely not got Martinez. Might have to check on Maguire. I don't know whether it was a 1 game or 3, but if he's gone as well, Yoro and Heaven ain't going to do much at Stamford Bridge, are they? They're going to get bullied. Yoro particularly. I actually think Heaven.
I fear for that defence. I really do.
If Mainu can't play, we're going with the same centre mid. Who, I mean, speaking respect the ball, they don't respect the ball. You got it, Casemiro. But fuck me.
They didn't respect the ball.
Can Rosine have a word with them too? I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to say. Sorry to say again. It's sort of a loss, but I honestly just don't see us winning. Dave, you said it. Look, when we've had good sides, Fergie never had a great record. It's not. We don't travel well there.
No.
And I'm just as well. I mean, I hate to say this. This is getting a bit out of hand, but Brentford. If Brentford win and United lose, we will only be 5 points above Brentford. So how amazing this has been.
Bad this now.
If we do lose at the weekend, we could be 4 or 5 points above 6th and 7th. I don't think we're going to win, man. I'll be.
Yeah.
Can they find something up front and maybe get 2 or 3 and get a result? Maybe, but the defense is shit.
Yeah, mate.
I know. I've not got much hope for our defense.
Do you know what though? Let me ask you something. Sorry, Dan. No. If we did miss out on Champions League, would you take that if that meant you got Luis Enrique?
Yes, without fucking doubt.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
Relegated.
I think you'd have to take that, because the thing is, I think he is like having like a marquee signing or two, having someone like that. I think when you get excited about a really good player coming into your club who could change things for you, I think he's on that level. He's like a signing, and it's one of those where you'd probably spend a lot of money on him to bring him in. You don't normally spend much on a coach, but you would in his case. And again, you want somebody that can galvanize the team, galvanize the players, put some sort of, I mean, again, I don't want to overcomplicate things, but I want someone that's got a level of tactics, who's got a philosophy, who's going to play good football and know which players need to go. I mean, just really quickly before going, full on Enrique, but he goes into PSG. He gets rid of players that he doesn't want, that's not going to fit his system. He gets backed as well at the same time, and he wins them a Champions League. And there's so many people that have tried it.
He looks like he's in the semi-final again now.
That's it. And that consistency is there. And that's another thing as well. We've lacked consistency. I don't think there's been a coach. I mean, we've had consistency in the sense of consistently shit or consistently like ruining players. And that's another thing as well. I want a coach to be able to coach players and make them better, or at least keep them on the same level that they came in at. Because apart from Bruno to a certain degree, a lot of players come in with promise and end up like shit. And it's just an infectious disease in this club where players just turn to absolute garbage. And it just shows today where there's certain players where I think, okay, I give them the benefit of the doubt, or just give them a chance. Stop being so hard on Ahmed. Stop being so hard on Yoro. Stop being so hard on all these different players. But end of the day, and it's not all their fault, because I still feel that when they've come in, they're still not being coached properly to a certain degree. But then they're also infected by the other shit that we're struggling to get rid of. And we've mentioned it before, haven't we? How long some of these players just linger around like a bad smell, a disease. And then you get people like me that sort of get brought into this. Oh, it's a good idea to keep so-and-so because we can't afford to replace him. Oh, it's a good idea because he's got experience. Oh, it's a good idea because he's good around the lads. So like Tom Heaton, he puts on a good party. He's a good lad. When people come in, everybody's like really happy around him. So let's keep him. Yeah. It's like, but what are we actually fucking doing here? We've just talked about City. Buy De Bruyne, but you've got a lot to your game still. But see you later, because we're moving on.
We're getting
Enrique, you mentioned Enrique, didn't you? And I found it interesting because I watched the first leg of the Liverpool game, and I seen Fabian Ruiz in street clothes in the stands, and the commentator said that him and Enrique have had a bit to do, and he's out. Donnarumma,
that's it.
Best goalkeeper in the world.
Out.
You're whinging, gone. Still the best team in the world. I think they're the best team in the world. I think they'll win the Champions League.
And who did stuff like that last for us? Fergie.
And we've got Michael Carrick tonight who wouldn't sub Ugarte in after 30 minutes.
Yeah, for me, I'm in the like.
Don't want to upset him.
Yeah, for me, I'm in like the what will be camp, to be honest, because if we get Champions League, I think Carrick gets the job. So it's a bit of a bittersweet situation there, because we're only getting Champions League to get absolutely pulverized in the Champions League and have a shocking season next year, right?
Yeah.
If we don't get Champions League, I think the hierarchy finally makes a decision on the next manager. My fear is they go and get someone like fucking Cesc Fabregas or something like that, But I'm in the what will be camp. If Carrick gets Champions League, I think he gets the job. If he doesn't get Champions League, at least we don't give him the job. I know this is getting emotional, but I don't think he should get the job whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just, again, that's probably final thoughts on Carrick. We've got Chelsea next, as we've just said there. I mean, I
what
can't.
Do you think, Dal? What do you think of Chelsea, mate? Like, where you are, obviously, we spoke about the defence. What's your thoughts on Saturday?
But I just.
Do you see a performance?
I'm struggling with this one. After
quite athletic, aren't they, as well as Chelsea?
Yeah, after the game tonight, I'm just thinking we can't beat Leeds at home. We've got to go away to Chelsea, Stamford Bridge. I think okay, they capitulated against City in the end, but they started well to a certain extent. They were at them at times. They could have probably scored. They did get that goal, but it was offside, wasn't it? In the end, but on the break, they can be quite dangerous. And
in transition,
they have got players that can hurt us at the end of the day. And I think, I don't know if there's been one or two players that is it Enzo that couldn't play in that last game because
he's fallen out with the manager,
Real Madrid or whatever. I don't know if he's back for us or what. I don't know, but again, I just don't see us beating Chelsea. I really don't. And to be fair, I didn't particularly see us beating Chelsea before tonight, if I'm honest, because again, going back to the run we've had at Stamford Bridge, it's not great. And we've never really beat Chelsea well, have we? Especially at their place. So I'm as it feels right now, I'm feeling like we're going to lose that game. And if we do, as we've already said, that pressure is going to be on. So we're talking about the pressure on Arsenal losing games and having City next. We're going to have a similar pressure when it comes to cementing that sort of Champions League spot. And that's why I asked the question earlier. Do you think it's slipping away? Is it in jeopardy? Or are we just overreacting? But all it takes now is for us to lose against Chelsea. And then that game against Liverpool, Jesus Christ, that game against Liverpool is going to be mad pressure. I'm not sure where that is. That at home, that one though.
It is
against Liverpool. I mean, not that it makes a difference the way we've played tonight, but that's going to be real pressure, and that's 2 6-pointer type games. So they're gaining 3 points back on us, and they're sort of. No, it's not just about third position. There is 5 positions there, but when you're in third, you want to try and cement that and keep them at bay. And we've just not done our job tonight. So to answer that question, I just don't see how we beat Chelsea, even though they're not great at the minute. I just don't see it. I just think they will. I mean, again, there's certain players that seem to get it up for us. I mean, there's certain teams that get it up for us. To be fair, I just don't see how we get past them. And unfortunately, I think we're gonna drop down 4th, 5th, or whatever at this rate. Well, obviously we've covered everything there, I think. It's not the emotion room on Davis' channel, but it's felt like the emotions room. Shocking 2-1 defeat. Leeds, there was a glimmer of hope that we could have at least sort of grabbed a draw there and got a point. And that's the problem where your standards drop in the game. You're thinking before the game, we're going to beat Leeds. Should be no problem. Then you're losing against Leeds, and then you're starting to sort of be desperate to even get a draw against this team, and it's just not. It's just.
I mean, we never
shocking.
mentioned it.
Shocking.
Final one from me, but any manager whose team starts a game that way, it's not acceptable. You know,
No,
I know you have off games, but 26 days without a game, like we said earlier, people have gone to the moon and back.
Chomping at the bit. Yeah.
You've got to make sure your players are chomping at the bit, and if they don't, it's a reflection. It's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of you. And for me, their attitudes, the way they started the game. Forget the game. The first half in general, it was awful. It was awful. It's the worst I've seen for a long time. And that alone has put me in the bracket of, oh my God, sorry but not sorry. PTSD has fully shown me this could be Ollie 2.0. Anyway, sorry.
I agree with you there. And sort of final thoughts on that. I think I was trying to talk myself around about the PTSD and sort of saying to yourself, oh no, you can't judge Carrick off Ollie. And I'm not going to say because Carrick was in his coaching team, so effectively he was a part of that, I suppose. But he's his own man. He started well, and I wanted to separate the two. But after tonight, I can't, and I can't go through Ollie against Watford or whichever team it was where we were shocking. I mean, we were shocking a few times Ollie towards the end. But I can't go through that pain again of stuff like tonight. And I think one of the earlier signs for me was the game against Newcastle. And Newcastle went down to 10 men and we got beat. And there was just no answer to that. And like you say, bringing on Malacia, I mean, you could sort of forgive him for trying to get something out of Malacia, but it wasn't the time to bring Malacia on. He hasn't played for such a long time. He's shit anyway. And I just think, again, you're playing against 10 men. You've not shown anything there against 10 men. Tonight, you've gone down to 10 men and you've looked a better team because we're going for it, but that's not down to Carrick for me. So, again, I know we're kind of going over all ground, but it's not great. And
just to echo what Dave said there about the start,
we've got to move on.
I was trying to think of the chances tonight because obviously it was the most XG since the Liverpool game, which we spoke about under Ollie. And obviously we had the 2 goals. We had the
3-0,
the 3-0 moment with Martinez, and first 2 minutes of the game. Do you remember the tapping that Calvert-Lewin hit straight at Lamont? Good save from Lamont.
Yeah.
Tapping. 2 minutes
and a header for Calvert-Lewin.
And the header for Calvert-Lewin. And I was thinking about that chance, the tap-in, and that is like that, right? We've come out sleepwalking from this. That's when you look at your manager. We should be 1-0 down now. We've got away with it. Now we need to shape up to not get going for 45, 50, 60 minutes after that tap-in and 2, 3, 4 chances. I agree. I can't believe how shit that was that first half. Where's your coach? Where's your manager? What's he going to do? Like I said, keep going back to it. Great. Qualify for the Champions League. If PSG are torching us next season, is he just going to ride the wave and watch a 7-0 drubbing at OT? Is that what?
Yeah,
what can you?
As you said earlier, you've got to stem the flow. You've got to whip
in. Yeah. Pull Bruno into centre mid, make a 3, do something, tighten up. You mentioned at the beginning of the show, Dan, about the how compact they've been. Steve Holland's been great off the ball. Mainu, Casemiro, Bruno, not big spaces. Tonight was like the Ten Hag midfield days, where it's just dicing through us every attack.
There was just no off-the-ball tweaks whatsoever. And it needed some off-the-ball tweaks. And then, you don't want to sit back against Leeds and counter, but you just needed to stem the flow for a period of time, sort of knock that confidence out of Leeds a little bit, and just be compact and then get ready to then go forward. And obviously, if it's not working with the forward players, you had some weapons on the bench. And this is what Carrick was trying to say, is that, I've got weapons on the bench that can come off the bench and make a difference. But by that point, and Boomer can't make the difference because you're 2-0 down already, and then a man down as well. So it's like you wanted to make some tweaks to sort of stem the flow. And I think after that, even like going 1-0 down, you got to think to yourself, right, this ain't working, lads. We need to do something different here and stop them scoring again and then go again. And maybe even get him in at half time and then say, right, it's only 1-0 down. Let's go for it. But by then, the game's over. The game's over at half time. And that's the shocking thing about it. And again, we've got to remind ourselves it's Leeds United. Fucking hell.
They probably took a point before kick-off. They nearly took a point.
Exactly. Right, guys, it's getting late, and obviously I want you guys to get off and what have you. So obviously, thanks for jumping on the stream. Much appreciated. Before we go, as I'll say, is just tell people where they can find you. So Alex, we'll start with yourself. Where can people find you?
The Football Brotherhood on YouTube and TikTok. Give us a follow if you're listening and watching it retrospectively. Massively appreciate it, Dan, as always, for having me. I needed it, so thank you, my friend.
Yeah, I need to unleash. Yes, therapy. And like Alex is saying there, very unique with his brother. Room's back. His brother Christian's been in here, Man City fan. They're starting to ride now, and they might even win the league, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, a unique channel where you've got brothers that support the opposite sides of Manchester. So go and find Alex.
I've got to watch along on Sunday watching them win the league. So
That's a huge.
That'll be a good game. I think everybody will be watching that definitely, and seeing that guy put his bottle up again in the stadium, drinking the Arsenal tears. And David, where can everybody find you, David?
David Speaks Football. Thanks for having me as always, Dan. And yes, hopefully we're in a better mood next time we speak to each other. But I think tonight has shown us all what we always knew before even Carrick got the job, to be honest. But yeah.
I think it's hit home, hasn't it? Definitely. It's given us perspective. It's done that over mind type stuff. So anyway, right, guys, thank you for watching Dan Talks United. It's been a blast. I think I'll be back on here again to do a preview for the Chelsea game Hopefully we're going to be a little bit more upbeat. I don't know whether we're going to be more positive about things or not, but we'll definitely chop things up. Hopefully, Alex, yourself will be on there for the preview. We can have a bit of a chat about what's going to happen next. And I may have Dash on there from across the pond. And David, yourself, I know you're going on a retreat, so enjoy that when you go on that. But hopefully we can touch base and we can get you on the show whilst you're away, even if it's on your mobile. All good, so long as we can hear your voice and we can have a chat about Manchester United. But the people that have tuned in, thank you for the comments from SGG. And I know SBO, it's all been about City, but thanks for your comments as well. And even the weird ones here and there. But Christian, definitely good comments as always. So thanks for the support. But guys, please press that subscribe button as well for all three of us, because we're all trying to get big in this YouTube game. First seasons for most of us. We're trying to battle against some of these bigger channels. But for people that are tuning in, thanks for your support. Keep tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Peace.
Cheers, guys.